Hare Krishna. Pranam to all devotees.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, Prabhu, you need to make me a co-host so that I can share my file. But before that, we'll just do Manglacharan. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhavaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. All right. So my screen is visible, right? Okay, good. So we are in the middle of 11th chapter, which is titled The Universal Form. And in the last shloka, last week, we saw that Arjun asked two questions. He says, O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you. One. Second, for I do not know what your mission is. So this is a second one, first and second. These are the two queries that Arjun has. And now Krishna is going to start speaking. So somebody can read the shloka and the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Shri,
Yeah, please read.
Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Kalosme Lokakshaya Pradipavadho Lokan Smrahitum Iha Pravittah Ripi Tvam Na Bhavishyanti Sarve Ye Vasishtah Pratyantikesu Yodhah. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain.
Yeah, please read the entire purport. It's a very nice purport.
Purport. Although Arjuna knew that Krishna was his friend and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was puzzled by the various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, he asked further about the actual mission of his devastating force. It is written in the Vedas that the supreme truth destroys everything, even the Brahmanas, as stated in the Katha Upanishad. Yasya Brahma cha Kshatriyan cha Ubhe Bhavatah Uranah Mrityur Yasho Paschenam Ka Ittah Veda Yatra Saha. Eventually, all the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and everyone else are delivered like a meal by the Supreme. This form of the Supreme Lord is all a devouring giant, and here Krishna presents himself in that form of all devouring time, except for a few Pandavas. Everyone who was present on that battlefield would be devoured by him. Arjuna was not in favor of the fight, and he thought it was better not to fight. Then there would be no frustration. In reply, the Lord is saying that even he did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed. For that was his plan. If Arjuna stopped fighting, they would die in another way. Death could not be checked, even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. This is the law of nature.
Thank you. Yeah. So here Prabhupada in his purport explains that Krishna is telling Arjun that, whether you choose to fight or you choose not to fight, either way, the result is going to be the same. So you might as well do something that I want you to do. I want you to fight, so might as well do that, because the result is going to be the same. You won't be able to save them. They are going to be dead anyways because of the time factor. So Krishna is basically encouraging Arjun to see things in the right perspective. It's just a question of time. They'll die. It's just a question of time, and their time has come. And he also tells him that except for you Pandavas, everyone is going to die, whether they are on your side or they are on the other side. They are all going to die. So whether you like it, you don't like it, but this is how things are going to be. You have a question, Krishna Priya Mataji?
Dandvat Pranam Mataji.
Then
Yes, I have a question. With respect to Krishna, Bhishma Pitamaha's boon, which was given to him by the Lord, that he will be having the Ichha Mrityu. Then how that boon is relevant here? If he has to die, just like Jayadratha, Drona, everybody has to die. Then his Ichha Mrityu boon is how it is not justified here.
okay, so
I don't know.
this is a very similar question to that question of how Krishna knows the future. So anybody wants to take a chance at answering this question? No one? Jyoti, you want to answer?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble
Please accept
obeisances.
mine.
He had that Ichha Mrityu, but like even after that, so many bows where he was laid on the bed of bows, but then also he didn't die. Like he died when he wanted to. After even those, so it is Ichha Mrityu only, means because Ichha Mrityu is like he didn't have that wish. He was injured, but after being so much injured, also he didn't die. So it was Ichha Mrityu.
In
Is
that
what I
sense, yes. Thank you. And also, see, the thing is, Bhishma is not going to live forever. Nobody can live forever. So Krishna knows his desire, that he's already old. He's just fighting from the side of Kauravas as a duty. He doesn't want to, but because he thinks that he's tied to the throne of Hastinapur. So that's why he's fighting from that side. But his heart is with the Pandavas. He wants the Pandavas to be victorious. He doesn't want Kauravas to be victorious, although he's fighting from that side. So Krishna knows what Bhishma will choose, and Bhishma himself actually tells Arjun how to kill him. When Arjun actually shoots a bow at an arrow at him, it was Bhishma who had told him that you hide behind Shikhandi, because I am not going to attack Shikhandi because he was a woman in his past life. I'm not going to do that. So you hide behind Shikhandi. So it's Bhishma only who will tell him that you do it this way. So it is by his own desire, and Krishna knows that. So that's why he's saying that they'll all be devoured. They'll all be finished. Is that okay?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, thank you.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble
Please
obeisances.
accept mine. Yes.
Mataji, in the previous verse, it's been mentioned that Arjuna asked the second question, which is, I do not know what your mission is. But I believe Krishna already explicitly shared his mission, Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Cha Dushkritam. So is that mission somewhat different? What is he going to say
No,
ahead?
but
Or
Arjun wants to know that you are showing me this Kal Roop and it is so, fearful. What's your mission? What are you trying to do here? So even though Krishna told him that I come to actually save those who are pious and highlight those who are impious, but still he wants to know, like, what's the purpose for this form? Why are you here? Why are you devouring everyone? So that's why he wants to know. So, and Krishna explains that I'm going to kill everyone as time. That's my mission. As time, I'm going to kill everyone. Okay. 33. Yeah, somebody please read. Please start reading quickly so that we can finish on time. Otherwise, we'll just spend so much time just trying to read the shlokas and purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I?
Go ahead, don't ask. Just read.
तस्मात् त्वम् उत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रुन् भुङ्क्त्वा राज्यं समृद्धं मयैवैत निहत्था पूर्वम् एव निमित्त मात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन्. Translation: Therefore get up, prepare to fight and win glory, conquer your enemies, and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O
Savyasachi.
Sabyasachi, can be put an instrument in the fight.
Yeah, so Krishna is saying, Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin, that you become my instrument. I have already done what is needed. Like Prabhupada many times says that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prophecy is there, that in every town and village his name would be chanted. So it will happen because it's what the Lord desires. So it is up to us whether we want to become an instrument in that or not. And by becoming an instrument, we actually get the glory and mercy both. So it is in our hand, so that's the similar thing is happening here. Krishna is saying, I've already killed them. Now you just become my instrument and take the glory. The glory can be yours. And Krishna is in a way implying that I want you to be known. I want you to be famous. I want to give you mercy. So you become my instrument. And a very interesting word that Krishna is using is Savyasachi. Savyasachi is a name for Arjun because he can shoot arrows from both his arms. Like, with both his hands, he can shoot arrow. In the sense that he can hold the bow on one side, shoot arrow, and then hold the bow on that side and shoot arrow. So he can switch his arms so quickly. That's the technical meaning of Savyasachin. A person who can use both his arms to attack. So Arjun can do that. He's so skilled, and when he shoots his arrows, and he does it with so much speed that a person cannot know what's happening. what's really happening. And so many arrows come at one after another, one after another. He just doesn't have to wait. So that's why Krishna is actually telling him, you are Sabyasachi, you're a glorious warrior. So take this glory. In the purport, Prabhupada says, Sabyasachi refers to one who can shoot arrow very expertly in the field. Thus, Arjun is addressed as an expert warrior capable of delivering arrows to kill his enemies. Just become an instrument, nimitta matram. This word is also very significant. The whole world is moving according to the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is one lesson that we need to learn, that whatever is happening in my life is Krishna's plan. Is Krishna's plan. A lot of times when things don't go our way, we try to do many things to wriggle out of that, right? So many arrangements we make, and most of the times we fail miserably. And then we come to this point, oh, if Krishna so desire, okay, you know. But a devotee comes to that point initially. First thing what he does is comes to this acceptance that this is Krishna's plan, and also makes this makes a decision in his head that whatever is Krishna's plan, I will accept. I'll not resist Krishna's plan. Right? What a devotee, like if something is going wrong, it doesn't mean that you don't do anything about it. You act and you do whatever you need to. But at the same time, you also understand that this is under Krishna's control, this is his plan. Right? So you are not attached to anything. You're not attached to anything. You're just trying to do your duty. So you do your duty, but you're not attached to anything because you accept that as Krishna's plan. A devotee, we all should understand that this is Krishna's drama. This whole material world is Krishna's drama. So in a drama, a director adds many different acts. So by going against Krishna, we don't want to add our own act in there. We want to just follow Krishna's act. He's the director. Okay. So then Prabhupada says, foolish persons who do not have sufficient knowledge think that nature is moving without a plan, and all manifestations are but accidental formations. There are so many so-called scientists who just suggest that perhaps it was like this or maybe like that, but there is no question of perhaps and maybe. There is a specific plan being carried out in this material world. What is that? What is this plan? This cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned souls to go back to Godhead, back to home. As long as they have domineering mentality, which makes them try to lord it over the material nature, they are conditioned. But anyone who can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord and cultivate Krishna consciousness is most intelligent. The creation and destruction of the cosmic manifestation are under the superior guidance of God. Thus, the battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of God. Arjun was refusing to fight, but he was told that he should fight in accordance with the desire of the Supreme Lord. Then he would be happy. If one is in full Krishna consciousness, his life is devoted to the Lord's transcendental service. He is perfect. So very important lesson. This is a very important lesson to learn, not easy to learn, but the sooner we learn it, the happier we would be. Jyoti? Okay.
Krishna, I wanted to ask, like, if something wrong happens to a devotee, also we should accept it as Krishna's plan.
Wrong is in very wide category.
Today I was listening to this news that in Puri Jagannath Rath Yatra, that one devotee got killed in that stampede. So, such things happens.
Yeah. So we have to understand that the whole idea that it is Krishna's plan doesn't mean that we act stupidly. We have to act with responsibility. That is a given. We don't say, okay, Krishna, now I'm going to do whatever and let your plan work. It doesn't work like that. If that was the case, he would have created zombies. He didn't need to create people with intelligence, right? So Prabhupada says that we are supposed to be independently intelligent and take decisions. But at the same time, despite taking an intelligent decisions, accidents do happen. And when that happens, one understands that, okay, his time has come. This was according to, if he's a devotee, it's Krishna's plan. Otherwise, it is his karma. His time has come.
Like,
Daya?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Mataji, I am like there's confusion or what we say, I don't know. Like if everything is planned, then like free will, where does it exist in that plan?
Very nice. We have come back to free will. Very good. So that entire exercise we have
My
come back
simple
to.
question is in Krishna's plan, where does our free will exist?
Free will exists. It's just that you exercise your free will and Krishna has his own plan. So you have exercised your free will, but what will be the result of that exercise is in Krishna's hand. He has a plan for everything. You know, he doesn't stop you from exercising your free will. No? Confused? Does
Yes,
anybody understand
I'm
or
not
everybody is
getting.
confused? Nobody understands how this works? Shubham Prabhu, please.
Yes, Mataji, understood. It is simple. Uh, let's take example of a cow who like which is tied with a rope with a like a wood. So the cow can move only till where the rope is extending, not beyond that. So our free will is like that. We can use our free will, but in a very limited place. But after that, it's Krishna's plan. What's going to happen ultimately?
Daya, is that clear?
Yes, but I want some more example if there is possibility. Otherwise, it's okay.
Okay, let me just quickly think of an example. Okay, so this Jyoti was saying about this person who died, who left his body in Jagannath Puri. You know, you could be in Jagannath Puri and you decide that there are like lakhs and lakhs of people there, and you can decide to actually go right in the middle of that crowd. That's your free will.
Yes.
Krishna is going to just tell you, don't do it. There can be a stampede. You know, through by the agency of super soul, he can just warn you that please don't do it. You know, and but then you choose, no, I want to go. You exercise your free will. And now whether you come back alive or you get crushed, that is Krishna's plan.
Okay.
He will not stop you, but what will happen, the result that you get, that is in Krishna's plan. And that depends on, you know, if your time has come, you know, or you need to learn some lessons. So what his plan would be it will work accordingly. We will read more about this actually in one of the purport. Prabhupada really goes very detailed into Krishna karma. So we'll read about it. So maybe then it will be more clear to you. Okay?
Okay.
Vaibhavi?
Madhuri, I have a similar question related to that. Can we take later on or it's
No,
okay?
go ahead. Go ahead.
So, Madhuri, months ago, I was working with one of the NGOs, and they used to have, they handle the girls which have been molested or some kind of violence has been done to them, and they are under the age of 15. It was really devastating for me to work with them because that was really scary to first see the girls of 5 or 6 or 7 years of girls raped or molested or so on. So they didn't choose, right? So here we are talking about free will. We have a choice. Suppose in Jagannath Puri, somebody told me, don't go there, you will be crushed. But still I went there, I got crushed. That was on me. Okay. But those girls of those 5, 6, 7, 8 years, they didn't choose it. They didn't wanted that. They don't even know what is happening with them. And I have talked to those girls personally that they were like, we don't know what was happening with us. And we were just scared and we were yelling. That's it. That's all they knew. So how is free will connected to this? And how is Krishna's plan related to that?
Okay, thank you. So first of all, This is characteristic of Kali Yuga, that people become like animals. You know, people, this is really very degraded mentality to do something like this. It's very degraded. But this is Kali Yuga, you know, it is only going to get worse. So now, free will in the sense that we understand the law of karma also, right? In the case of devotee, it is Krishna who intervenes. And in case of a non-devotee, it is just law of karma working. It's the law of nature that takes over. So if it was a devotee, then Krishna would probably act in such a way that even though such a thing happens, there is a lesson to be learned. You know, there's some lesson to be learned. But in case of a non-devotee, it is just karmic. In your past life, you had such karmas, and you just kind of pay the price for those karmas. It's karmic. It's a very harsh thing to say, but that's how it is. You know, if
And
somebody,
I also heard that if somebody doesn't get punished, or somebody, just suppose somebody raped somebody and some girl, and he didn't get punished for that, so in his next life he will be raped. Is that so? No, I read somewhere.
could be, because see, the thing is, in first cantos, 7th chapter, in the purport where Ashwatthama is, even where Krishna tells Arjun to kill Ashwatthama. So Prabhupada gives this very nice purport, and he says that it's according to Manusmriti, a murderer should be killed. And the reason is that if he's killed, then he won't have to undergo the karmic reaction in the next life. So similarly, for anybody, you know, if they are perpetrators of some heinous act, they should be punished severely so that they don't have to suffer. But if they are not punished in this life, the laws of nature are not going to spare them. According to the laws of nature, they will be punished, and who knows to what intensity. We don't know how laws of karma really work. It could be even worse than that, you know, depending on the intensity of their karmic balance.
So which means that anyway they choose to do this in some other life, and then now they are suffering. So free will can be connected to that.
It is some, yeah, it's not necessary that that person who went through a physical assault had done physical assault earlier. It's not necessary. It's just karmic in the sense that you must have, like, you know, acted in such a way where somebody got very hurt by your actions in some way. And then because of your mentality, you know, because of the mentality, that kind of act gets done to you. So laws of karma are very, very complex. It's very we can't really conclude that this must have happened, this is why this happened. You know, it's a very simplistic explanation. Yes, to understand is very good, that I must have done it, that's why it's happening. But they, even like Krishna says, they're very difficult to understand, like, you know, who does what and gets what, for how many lifetimes, how many reactions are just combined, and, you know, that person is getting the combined reactions of many lifetimes. Who knows? But definitely karmic balance. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
This is Kali Yuga, I understand. And but what about Dwapar Yuga, when Draupadi's case was happened in front of Krishna was there? So did she did any crime in her previous birth?
The thing is, Krishna, like I said, for the whole of, you know, his purpose is to come and mass destruct people with impious mentality, right? So the whole of Mahabharata, or you see what happened in Dwapar Yuga, Krishna was very patiently placing different pawns on the chessboard. If Draupadi was not insulted, Mahabharata would not have happened. So it was, you know, because of that, it was so bad and so severe that nobody could really ignore it. And
That
also,
happened in front of everybody, but now that has become a cruel people's, what should we say? Something under the garb of this. Krishna, it happened before Krishna, so he didn't do anything. So we can
First of all,
also,
Krishna wasn't there. He wasn't there in that assembly. It's just that when Draupadi called out to him in full surrender, he helped her by appearing in the form of her sari.
but there could have been some another Leela also. If it is considered to be Krishna's Leela, then if he has to give her a plenty of saris, then he could give her another way. But this
Yeah.
was not the right way, because
See,
it has given
see, the
a
thing
freedom
is,
to every people,
one,
all
we have
people
to
to do this.
understand that who are we to question Krishna's plan? Who are we to say that he should have done it any other way? And that is actually the biggest trap for us, the conditioned souls. When something happens in our life and Krishna is really trying to teach us a lesson, we say, "Oh, Krishna, why did you do it like this? You could have done it some other way." If you wanted to really teach me this lesson, then you could have done it some other way. Why did you do it like this? Why did you humiliate me in front of all the devotees? You could have done it personally to me. you know why did you make a laughing stock of me? So who are we to really question why Krishna arranged something the way he did? But we have to understand that Krishna has a plan, and he is executing that plan so that the ultimate result could be the best. See, Krishna is not interested in short term victories and losses. He is not interested. His vision is not like ours. We think about today, tomorrow, 1 week, 1 month, but Krishna's vision is of eternity. He sees everything from the point of eternity. So, when he does something, when he sanctions something, it is from a very different vision than what we have. For us, it is good and bad, this, that, but from Krishna's point of view, everything is good. He Even with that incident, he gave so many lessons. I mean, people who don't have faith in Krishna will think that, okay, Krishna protects his devotees. His devotee doesn't vanquish. He protected Draupadi even in that situation. He protected everyone. And a person who's not Krishna conscious is just going to degrade himself more and more as time passes. And we saw that Kauravas degraded themselves by doing this act. So there are lessons to be learned, right?
This point has become a freedom to everybody.
See, those who are demoniac will find excuses in Shastras to perpetrate different kind of acts. And those who actually understand, they will know what they need to do and what they don't need to do. So we can't really control demoniac people. Even in Krishna's times, there were demons, and they were acting the way they were. So we don't really worry about those who misread the Shastras, misinterpret the Shastra, and then preach wrongly. We don't really waste our time with that. Because this is Kali Yuga, there'll be more and more of those kind of people. Right?
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
34.
Can I read, Mother?
Yeah, please go.
द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयद्रथं च कर्णं तथान्यापि योधवीरान् मया हस्तां स्तवं जहि मा व्यधिष्ठा युध्यस्व जेतासि रणे सपात्नान्. Translation: Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle.
So it's the acharyas point out that it is very interesting that he's mentioning Drona, Bhishma, Jayadrath, and Karna and the other great warriors. So Jayadrath was not really known as a great warrior. Drona, Bhishma, Karna definitely were great warriors, and there were some more. But Jayadrath is not really considered to be a great warrior. He's not really that powerful. But Jayadrath had a boon from Lord Shiva. Jayadrath had a boon from Lord Shiva that he'll be able to stop the Pandavas once. He'll be able to stop all the Pandavas once. He had that boon. So Arjun knew about that, and Arjun also was concerned about it. that, Jayadratha has this boon from Lord Shiva. So now Krishna is telling him that I have already destroyed, you don't need to worry. You don't need to worry about these people. So you just now go through the process of killing them. I have already killed them. I just want to give you the glory of killing all these people. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemies in the battle. And in the purport, Prabhupada says, every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he is so kind and merciful to his devotees that he wants to give the credit to his devotees who carry out his plan according to his desire. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of a spiritual master. The plans of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are understood by His mercy, and the plans of the devotees are as good as His plans. One should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle for existence. Yeah. So very important lesson that a devotee should be always ready to act according to Krishna's desire and plan. And now we may question that how do I know what is Krishna's plan and desire for me? So that's why Prabhupada is saying that's where the spiritual master comes in. So spiritual master instructs a devotee, and if we act according to the instruction of the spiritual master, it is as good as acting according to Krishna's plan. Okay? 35.
एतत् श्रुत्वा सञ्जय उवाच एतत् श्रुत्वा वचनं केशवस्य कृताञ्जलिर्वेपमाना किरीटी नमस्कृत्वा भूय एव कृष्णं स गद्गदं भीतः प्रपन्यं प्रणम्य.
Anamya.
Translation. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjun offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a flattering voice as follows.
Yeah, so Arjun is like, still fearful, and he's folding his hands. And now Arjun will start offering different kind of prayers. So here we see that Sanjay calls Arjun Kiriti. So Kiriti is a name of Arjun, which was given by Indra. When Arjun fought from the side of demigods and he won that battle, so Indra was very happy with him. So he gave him a very brilliant helmet and named him as Kiriti. That because of that, Kirit means helmet, and a person who's wearing a brilliant helmet is Kiriti. Okay, so Prabhupada in his purport says that Arjun is offering respectful obeisances again and again with faltering voice. He began to pray not as a friend, but as a devotee in wonder. So Arjun has not come back to his original rasa with Krishna. He's still, he's still bewildered by the universal form of the Lord. 41.
Arjun uvacha sthane ऋषिकेश तव प्रकीर्त्या जगत् प्रहर्ष्यत्य अनुर्जयते च रक्षांसि भीतानि दिशो द्रवन्ति सर्वे नमस्यन्ति च सिद्धसङ्घ. Translation. Arjun said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done.
Yeah, so Arjun is now, this is the first prayer out of 11 prayers that he will offer. So in this one, he says that there are two category of people. There is one category who's like, which is a category of devotees or demigods. When they see you, they are offering respectful homage. But the demons are running here and there because they are afraid of that form. That form is so ferocious that they are afraid of that form and they are running here and there. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, Arjun, after hearing from Krishna that the outcome of the battle of Kurukshetra became enlightened, and as a great devotee and friend of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said that everything done by Krishna is quite fit. Arjun confirmed that Krishna is the maintainer and the object of worship for the devotees and the destroyer of the undesirables. His actions are equally good for all. Note this point. His actions are equally good for all. When Krishna acts, nobody loses. Everybody is a winner. Arjun understood herein that when the battle of Kurukshetra was being concluded, in outer space there were present many demigods, siddhas, and the intelligentsia of the higher planets. And they were observing the fight because Krishna was present there. When Arjun saw the universal form of the Lord, the demigods took pleasure in it, but others, who were demons and atheists, could not stand it when the Lord was praised. Out of their natural fear of the devastating form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they fled. Krishna's treatment of the devotees and the atheist is praised by Arjun. In all cases, a devotee glorifies the Lord because he knows whatever he does is good for all. Any question on that statement? That a devotee knows that whenever Krishna acts, it is for everyone's benefit. Convinced? No? Yes? Maybe? Okay. Jyoti.
Hare Krishna. This statement, here it is written that a devotee knows that whatever Krishna does is all good. So whether a devotee knows or whether a devotee believes.
Knows because he has faith in Shastra, so whatever Shastra say, he knows. He has, there is no question of doubting what is in Shastra. So he knows. Like we know Krishna has a beautiful smile. If you know, believe and know, they kind of go together. If you believe Shastra, then you know. Right?
Yes, and Mate just wanted to confirm this line that using our free will, we should approach Krishna and understand Krishna, and gradually, what Krishna will gradually he will take us under his shelter, and we'll start to understand everything. Is it like this?
Yeah. See, the thing is, we act according to Krishna's plan, according to the desire or instructions of the spiritual master. And it doesn't mean that when we act according to his plan, we are just going to be very comfortable, no problems. It doesn't mean that. Because our karmic balance doesn't become zero. The karmic balance is still there, and there are a lot of anarthas which are still there. And Krishna needs to actually rectify that mentality of ours. So what he will do, he will use your karma. He'll use your karma and put you in a certain position. That, okay, Jyoti, you need to learn this lesson. So I'm giving this karma, which will help you learn this lesson. And then, when you actually go through that exercise, and if you have the right mentality, you will learn your lesson. If you are surrendered and you accept that whatever Krishna is doing is for my benefit, and I have a lesson to learn here, and I want to learn that lesson, I don't want to, revolt against Krishna's plan. And how can we revolt against Krishna's plan?
By doing something which Krishna does not want us to do.
By doing something, by crying about it, by criticizing everybody around us, by blaspheming people around us. So this is how we resist Krishna's plan. So, and in Bhagavatam 10th canto it comes that a devotee's mentality is that if he gets some kind of some misery, his mentality is that I actually deserved a lot more, but Krishna has given me very little because he's so kind. He's taking care of me. So sometimes people, they fall off the stairs in the temple and they break their legs. So the devotee's mentality is that, oh, my leg, I would have lost my legs, but Krishna has just, broken my leg. And, for 3 or 4 weeks, I'll be all right. So there's a lesson for me to learn. So a devotee knows that Krishna is my ever well-wisher, and he's only going to give me as much as, first of all, I can handle, and second, which is necessary to teach me a lesson. He's not going to give me more. So whenever there is some kind of misery in a devotee's life, he first thinks that the mentality should be, thank you, Krishna, you are very merciful. Now let me try to learn a lesson from this. What is the lesson for me? What are you trying to teach me? Right? So that should be the mood of a devotee. And if certain circumstances coming again and again in our lives, then we should understand that we are not learning the lesson Krishna is trying to teach us. So that is why he's forced to put that circumstance again and again in our lives. And when we learn that lesson, that circumstance will go away because it's not required anymore. Is that okay?
Yes, yes.
37.
तस्मात् स तेन न मेरन्महात्मन् गरीयसे ब्रह्मणोऽप्यादिकर्ते अनन्तदेवेश जगन्निवास त्वामक्षरं सद् असत्तत्परं यत्. O great one, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you, O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe? You are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation.
Yeah, so now Arjun is saying that you are the greatest of all and you are the origin of everyone. So Prabhupada in his purport explains that by the offering of obeisances, Arjun indicates that Krishna is worshipable by everyone. He is all pervading in the form of his energies, right? He's all pervading and he is the soul of every soul. Arjun is addressing Krishna as Mahatma, which means that he is most magnanimous and unlimited. Ananta indicates that there is nothing which is not covered by the influence and energy of the Supreme Lord. That is, nothing exists beyond him. And Devesha means that he is the controller of all demigods and is above them all. He is a shelter of the whole universe. Arjun also thought that it was fitting that all the perfect living entities and powerful demigods offer their respectful obeisances unto him because no one is greater than him. So it's pretty clear. And that Prabhupada says the word Aksharam is very significant because this material creation is subject to destruction, but the Lord is above this material creation. He is the cause of all causes, and being so, he is superior to all the conditioned souls within this material nature as well as the material cosmic manifestation itself. He is therefore the all great supreme. 38.
Hare
Tama-
Krishna. Okay.
Somebody read, please.
त्वम् आदिदेव पुरुषः पुराणस् त्वम् अस्य विश्वस्य परं निधीनां वेतसि वेद्यं च परं च धाम तव्या ततं vishwam anantarupa. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes. All limitless form, this full cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you.
So we see that Arjun is, where did we go? Hold on. Okay, Arjun is repeating some of the things, right? Which he said, like the supreme refuge above the material modes. So the Prabhupada says that he's repeating because he's amazed to see everything. He's so amazed to see that form that in that amazement, in that wonder, he's repeating. And then Prabhupada in his purport says, everything is resting on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, therefore he is the ultimate rest. Nidhanam means that everything, even the Brahman's effulgence, rest on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He is the knower of everything that is happening in this world. And if knowledge has any end, he is the end of all knowledge. Therefore, he is the known and the knowable. He is the object of knowledge because he is all pervading. Because he is the cause in the spiritual world, he is transcendental, and he is also chief personality in the transcendental world. So pretty clear, right? 39.
Yamo Agnevar.
वायुर्यं
Please read, Mataji.
वायुर्यमोऽग्निर्वरुण शशाङ्क प्रजापतिस्त्वं प्रपितामहश्च नमो नमस्तेऽस्तु सहस्रकृत्वा पूर्णश्च भूयोऽपि नमो नमस्ते. You are air and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again and yet again.
Yeah, so the Acharyas say that he's compared to air because just like air, Krishna is also all pervading. Just like, Krishna, air is also all pervading, similar. And then he says, you are fire. Why? Because the fire is the Agni comes from the mouth of the Lord. And you are water means whatever water we see as an element is actually nothing but the perspiration of the Lord. Is a perspiration from the body of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and it enters into this universe, penetrating the 7 layers of the universes in the form of Ganga. And here the word also uses shashank, shashanka. That means that which is marked with which is marked like a rabbit, shashanka. So it's the moon. So he's saying that you are the moon, because everything is coming from you. And he's not only that you are the elements, you are also the controller of all the elements. So in the purport, Prabhupada says the Lord here addressed here as air because air is the most important representation of all the demigods being all pervasive. Arjun also addresses Krishna as a great grandfather because he is the father of Brahma, the first living creature in this universe. 40.
नमा पुरस्तात् अथ पृथस्तास्ते नमोऽस्तु ते सर्वत एव सर्व अनन्तवीर्या मितविक्रमस्त्वं सर्वं समाप्नोषि तत्तोऽसि सर्व. Translation: Obeisances to you from the front, from the behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything.
So Arjun is offering repeated obeisances. It's not just one obeisance, it's repeated obeisances. He's offering from the front, he's offering from behind, he's offering from the side. So now that Arjun has understood, so he understood who Krishna is. So he's kind of forced to offer obeisances because he now knows the greatness of Krishna. He's offering obeisances again and again. So basically, Arjun has come to this conclusion that Vasudev Sarvamiti Sahamatma Sudurlabha, that Vasudev is the cause behind everything. He's the cause of all causes. So this should be the mood when we actually read Bhagavad Gita and we understand Bhagavad Gita. We should also come to this point of understanding that Vasudev Sarvamiti. Vasudev is the cause behind all the causes. Prabhupada says, out of loving ecstasy for Krishna, his friend Arjun is offering his respect from all sides. He is accepting that he is the master of all potencies and all prowess, and far superior to all the great warriors assembled in the battlefield. 41-42.
सखेति मत्वा प्रसवं यद् उक्तं हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति अजानता महिमानं तवेदं मया प्रमादात् प्रणयेन वापि यच्छावहासार्थम् कृतोऽसि विहारशय्यासन भजो भोजनेषु एकोऽथ वापि अच्युतत्समक्षं तत्क्षामि त्वां
Shamai. Kashamai tvam aham aprameyam.
Tvam aham aprameya. Translation: Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadav, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses.
Thank you. In the purport, Prabhupada says, although Krishna is manifested before Arjun in his universal form, Arjun remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures that arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formerly he did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form, although Krishna explained it as his intimate friend. Arjun did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him, "Oh, my friend, oh, Krishna, oh, Yadava," etc., without acknowledging his opulence. But Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjun as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. Okay, so I have a question here. So why is Arjun really asking for, why is he asking, apologizing in front of Krishna? Why is he asking him to forgive him? He's calling him, "Oh Krishna, oh Yadav, oh my friend." What's the problem in that? Yes, Prabhu.
Probably Arjuna saw the universal form of Krishna, so he is not able to actually relate that he is the similar Krishna with whom he was actually playing or lying on the same bed or talking or walking, something like that.
Okay. Daya?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, as we discussed previous classes that there are 5 rasas. So Arjun was not at present time, like at that time, Arjun was not in that rasa. Arjun was thinking as what should I say?
He's in awe and reverence right now, so he's not understanding that the rasa is actually that of friendship. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because we know that there are 5 rasas, and one of them was a friendship one. So right now Arjun was not in that, and he's I'm not able to explain, but I got the thing that
Okay, nice. Thank you. Jyoti?
When he understood the position of Krishna, he felt that he might have felt like he didn't give him the required honor and the required dignity that he should have given him. So, remembering all those things, he felt felt guilty and like, okay, I should have given him that honor, but I took him very casually as a friend. So
But their relationship is that of a friend, no?
yeah, but in friendship also, the required honor that he was supposed to give him, he felt because now he understood the position, and before that he was in some different position in his mind, so the relation changes.
Okay, thank you. Vaibhavi?
Hare Krishna Mataji. So earlier Arjun was in relationship with Krishna as a friend, as a family, but later he accepted him as a supreme personality of Godhead, as a master. So now he's paying obeisances and asking for forgiveness as a master. Being a student of Krishna, he's asking for forgiveness. That if by any means I have asked any question that is out of my ignorance or delusion, that is why I'm asking for forgiveness. So probably that's my understanding.
Thank you. Nice points have come up. But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a commentary on this verse, and he says that actually Arjun had a very overfamiliar relationship with Krishna, and Krishna is the son of Vasudev, who's merely a minister. He's not a king. He's not the king or the ruler. Whereas Arjun's father Pandu was a great warrior. Vasudev is known as Ardharathi. Ardharathi means that 2 Ardharathis ride on one chariot. They don't even have a chariot of their own. So Vasudev is known as an Ardharathi, and also the whole idea of referring him as Yadav, a member of family unable to rule. This is actually coming from I think it is the 7th, 8th. I think it is in the 8th canto Yayati. Is it 8th or 9th? Maybe 9th. The story of Yayati. So Yayati had 3 sons, Puru, Yadu, and one more. I forgot his name. So Yayati was very interested in sense gratification. And even after thousands of years of sense gratification, he was not satisfied, but he had become old. So he asked that, I want to still keep enjoying, but I'm old. How do I do that? So it was suggested to him that you go to one of your young sons and ask them to change their youth for your for your old age, and when you get their youth, you can still go on enjoying. So Yayati was so mad after sense gratification that he went and asked his eldest son, Yadu, and Yadu refused. Yadu said, I will not share my youth with you, because Yadu knew that in his dynasty, in his, in his line, Krishna is going to appear. So he did not want to delay Krishna's appearance. So he said, I'm not going to do that, because he wanted Krishna to appear soon. So similarly, the second son also refused, but Puru agreed. Puru agreed, and Yayati gave him a blessing that your descendants would always be the ruler. And he cursed Yadu by saying, your descendants will never become rulers. So Yadava means he is a descendant of Yadu. So by calling him as Yadava, so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that he's reminding him that, you come from a line where you cannot rule. But we are from Puru dynasty, so we are the rulers. And Arjun would sometimes say, oh, my friend, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that it was said very condescendingly, that although we are not on the same level, but I'm considering you as my friend. He says that I'm superior to you, but out of my affection, I'm willing to accept you as my friend. And now he's become aware of Krishna's position. And he also says that he should have called him as Sri Krishna, but he used to call him Krishna. Oh, Krishna. So he should have called him Sri Krishna. So indicating that, you are not really worthy of that much respect. So now he's understood Krishna's actual position. So he says that even, even though our rasa is that of friendship, my thought behind calling you different names was so offensive. So offensive. So he's asking for forgiveness. Okay, so it's very interesting. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives very interesting insight into why Arjun is feeling this way. Text 43. Yes, Prabhu.
So Mataji, do we really need to seek forgiveness from Krishna for the informal gestures? Is it?
If the mentality is offensive, then yes. Otherwise, Krishna really enjoys informal relationship. He does not like the formality. That's what Vrindavan mood is. It's an informal, sweet relationship. But the mentality behind it should not be offensive. One. And also we have to remember that Arjun is not a Braj Bhakta. He's a Dwarka Bhakta. He's not Braj Bhakta. In Braj, people can get away by saying anything, whatever to Krishna, and he likes it. But in Dwarka, the same mood is not there. It is a mood of awe and reverence. And when he was addressing Krishna like that, it became offensive. Okay? 43. Read, please.
लोकस्य पूज्य च गुरुर्गरीयान् न त्वमस्तभ्यधिकुतुल्यो लोकरये प्रतिमा प्रभव. Translation. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of the immeasurable power?
Yeah, so he's now acknowledging that you are the greatest of all. You are the most worshipable personality. You are everyone's spiritual master, because you are the origin of all knowledge. Whatever knowledge is there, anywhere, you are the origin. So you are the supreme spiritual master. So in the purport, Prabhupada says the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna, is worshipable as a father is worshipable for his son. He's a spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instructions to Brahma, and presently he is also instructing Bhagavad Gita to Arjun. Therefore, he is the original spiritual master. And any bona fide spiritual master at the present moment must be a descendant in the line of disciplic succession stemming from Krishna. Without being a representative of Krishna, one cannot become a teacher or spiritual master of transcendental subject matter. So this is also like a very, Prabhupada is telling us that when we see some guru, when we see a spiritual master, So we should try and see if they are actually coming in a bona fide parampara or not. This is how we weigh in whether one is a guru or not. And then he says the Supreme Lord Krishna has senses and a body like the ordinary man. But for him, there is no difference between his senses, his body, his mind, and himself. Foolish persons who do not perfectly know him say that Krishna is different from his soul, mind, heart, and everything else. Krishna is absolute. Therefore, his activities and potencies are supreme. It is also stated that although he does not have senses like ours, he can perform all sensory activities. Therefore, his senses are neither imperfect nor limited. No one can be greater than him, and no one can be equal to him, and everyone is lower than him. The knowledge, strength, and activities of the Supreme Personality are all transcendental. And Prabhupada says the best policy is to follow the principles of Krishna, that will make one perfect. It is also stated that there is no one who is master of Krishna. Everyone is his servant. Okay? Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, I have a question. Here it is mentioned that no one is greater than you within the three words. So Mataji, I have heard of spiritual world and material world. So what are the three words that here Arjuna is referring to?
These are the three planetary systems. He's talking about the material world. The three
The
planetary
lower,
systems.
upper, and the middle, right?
Yes. 44. Jyoti?
Mataji, can Krishna be the direct spiritual master of anyone? Like I've read somewhere that he's the he's the spiritual master of the Brajvasis.
Yeah. So Brajvasis who are Brajvasis? Not the ones that we see today. Brajvasis, in true sense, are the ones who are his very intimate associates, who have come with him from the spiritual world to carry out different pastimes. So Krishna directly intervenes in their life. They have a direct relationship with him. But Krishna himself goes to Sandipuni Muni to show that everyone needs to have a spiritual master. Right? And even in case of Brajvasis, they consider Purnamashi as their spiritual master. She is their guiding guru. She tells them, do this, do that. In that sense, yes, but then Purnamashi is also nothing but Yogamaya, his internal potency. 47. Sorry, not 47, 44.
तस्मात् प्रणम्य प्रणिधाय कायं प्रसादये त्वम् अहम् ईशम् इद्यं पितेव पुत्रस्य सखेव साख्यो प्रियाया हसिदेव सोढुम्. Translation: You are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you.
Such a sweet prayer. This is such a sweet prayer. And I mean, we can also offer this kind of prayer to him, that you are supposed to be worshipped by every living entity, but please forgive me, because Arjun is saying, like just a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a father tolerates even if the child is not very respectful, or goes against his wishes. A father tolerates. A friend also, a real friend will tolerate. Sometimes we get angry and we snap at a friend, but a real friend tolerates. Okay, no, maybe he's in a bad mood. And the husband, and the husband, the familiarity of his wife. So a husband also tolerates a wife also tolerates a husband. So if there is a real relationship with love, then people tolerate each other. So he's saying that consider my relationship with you in that light, that although I was offensive, but just like a father tolerates his son, please tolerate me, please forgive me, and please tolerate me. And Prabhupada says that Krishna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna as a son, one might treat Krishna as a husband, as a friend, or as a master. Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship. As a father tolerates, or the husband or a master tolerates, so Krishna tolerates. Okay, 45.
अदृश्यपूर्वम्
Please read to
अदृश्यपूर्वं हर्षितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा ध्यायेन च प्रवथितं मनो मे तदेव मे दृश्या देवारूपं प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास. After seeing this universal form, which I've never seen before, I'm gladdened. I'm gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your glance upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lords of Lords, O abode of the universe.
Yeah, so we see that what he's saying, that I'm very glad. I'm on one side I'm very glad, on the other side I'm also very fearful. So glad because Krishna showed him what he wanted to see. He had this desire to see the universal form. Krishna showed it to him. Second, he was glad because his friend is so powerful, amazing. I didn't know you were so great, so powerful. So he's glad, and yet he's fearful because now that he's seeing the universal form, he's not attracted to that form. He's like, oh Krishna, I don't want to do anything with this form. Please, remove this form. And there is this slight fear in Arjun's mind. The acharyas say that Krishna may decide just not to show his other form to Arjun anymore, and he might just keep showing him the universal form. So he's also fearful that no, enough of this form. I don't want to see this form anymore. And Prabhupada in the purport says that Arjun is always in confidence with Krishna because he is a very dear friend. And as a dear friend is gladdened by his friend's opulence, Arjun is very joyful to see that his friend Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and can show such a wonderful universal form. But at the same time, after seeing that universal form, he is afraid that he has committed so many offenses to Krishna out of his unalloyed friendship. Thus his mind is disturbed out of fear, although he had no reason to fear. Arjun therefore is asking Krishna to show his Narayan form before he can assume any form, because he can assume any form. This universal form is material and temporary, and the material form and the material world is temporary. But in the Vaikuntha planets, he has his transcendental form with 4 hands as Narayan. There are innumerable planets in the spiritual sky, and in each of them, Krishna is present by his plenary manifestations of different names. Thus, Arjun desired to see one of the forms manifest in the Vaikuntha planets. Means Arjun is now desiring to see the Chaturbhuj form of the Lord, the Vaikuntha form. Of course, in each Vaikuntha planet, the form of Narayan is 4-handed. But the 4 hands hold different arrangements of symbol, the conch shell, mace, lotus, and disc. According to the different hands these 4 things are held in, the Narayans are variously named. All these forms are one with Krishna. This description comes in CC Madhya Lila, that the 400 forms of the Lord, if he holds, say, lotus on lower left hand and conch on lower right hand, and mace and disc on the other hands, depending on in which hand he's holding what, he's named differently. He is known as Trivikram if he's holding it like this. If he's holding it in any other way, is known as Padmanabh. So so this is what Prabhupada is referring to, that there's so many representations of Krishna and manifestations of Krishna in the Vaikuntha planet, depending on where he's holding what. And these are all Vaikuntha planets. And these are all Chaturbhuj forms. So now Arjun is desiring to see the Chaturbhuj form. So the Acharyas comment that Arjun had heard of Krishna's birth, how he took birth, and he knew that Krishna had appeared in a Chaturbhuj form, and then he appeared in a 2-armed form. So now Arjun is curious that I also want to see that 4-armed form in which you appeared. I also want to see your Chaturbhuj form. So, and it's a personal form and it's a transcendental form. It is from the Vaikuntha planets. So now Arjun is saying that I want to see it. Okay, 46.
किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रहस्तम् इच्छामि त्वां द्रष्टुमहं तथैव तनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते. Translation: O universal form, O 1,000-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your 4-armed form, with helmeted head and with club. wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form.
So in this form, the acharyas comment that it's a highly ornamented form. They are like big, big gems, and so Arjun has this desire that I want to see this form also. In the purport, Prabhupada says Arjun knew that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, assuming his temporary universal form. He is now asking to see the form of Narayana, spiritual form. This verse establishes without any doubt the statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all other features originate from him. He is not different from his plenary expansions, and he is God in any of his innumerable forms. In all of these forms, he is fresh like a young man. That is the constant feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who knows Krishna becomes free at once from all contamination of the material world. Now Krishna will start speaking. Somebody read 47.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Prasannena Tavarjunedam Rupam Param Darshitam Yogat Tejomayam Vishwamanandamadhyam Yanme Twadanyena Nadrishta Purvam. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you, by my internal potency, this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence.
So Krishna is again confirming that nobody else has seen this form. The form that you've seen is unique. And in the purport, Prabhupada says that Arjun wanted to see the universal form of the Supreme Lord. So Lord Krishna, out of his mercy upon his devotee Arjun, showed his universal form full of effulgence and opulence. This form was glaring like the sun, and its many faces were rapidly changing. Krishna showed this form just to justify the desire of his friend Arjun. This form was manifested by Krishna through his internal potency, which is inconceivable by human speculation. No one had seen this universal form of the Lord before Arjun. But because the form was shown to Arjun, other devotees in the heavenly planets and in other planets in outer space could also see it. They had not seen it before, but because of Arjun, they were able to see it. In other words, all the disciplic devotees of the Lord could see the universal form which was shown to Arjun by the mercy of Krishna. Someone had commented that this form was shown to Duryodhan also when Krishna went to Duryodhan to negotiate for peace. Unfortunately, Duryodhan did not accept the peace offer, but at the same time, Krishna manifested some of his universal forms. But those forms are different from the one shown to Arjun. It is clearly said that no one had ever seen this form before. So Prabhupada is saying this again. Yeah, so why Krishna is happy? Because first of all, he wants to reciprocate with his pure devotee. He said, I'll happily show you. And also, he does not want Arjun to get lost in the universal form. He wants Arjun to come back to the rasa that he has with Krishna. So because the rasa is not only enjoyed by the devotee, the rasa is also enjoyed by the Supreme Lord. So he wants Arjun to come back in that rasa. Okay, so now 48. Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, I have a question. Mataji, there is a photograph in Bhagavad Gita wherein Krishna and Arjuna is talking on the chariot and the universal form is appeared behind Krishna. So the Krishna is already there, but the universal form is also there, right? So there are
Yes.
two things.
Yes.
And this dialogue which Krishna just spoke
That
is
means
from
that the universal form
original.
has covered Krishna. Like he's not able to see Krishna as the two-handed form, although Krishna is present there. But when he shows his universal form, that has covered everything.
Okay, so this dialogue which just happened is spoken by the two-handed form of Krishna or from the universal form of Krishna, Mataji?
He's saying, I'll happily show it to you. So we can assume that he's still the universal form, and now he will show him the two-handed form. Yeah. Okay. 48. Somebody read.
न वेदयज्ञाध्ययनैर्न दानैर्न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः एवं रूप शक्य अहं नृलोके दृष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर. Translation. O best of the Kuru's warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances, can I be seen in this form in the material world.
Thank you. So Prabhupada says, unless one attains the status of divinity as a demigod, he cannot have divine vision. And what is a demigod? It is stated in the Vedic scriptures that those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu are demigods. Vishnu Bhakta Smita Deva. Those who are atheistic, that is, who do not believe in Vishnu or who recognize only the impersonal part of Krishna as the supreme, cannot have the divine vision. It is not possible to decry Krishna and at the same time have the divine vision. One cannot have the divine vision without becoming divine. In other words, those who have divine vision can also see like Arjun. The Bhagavad Gita gives the description of the universal form, although this description was unknown to everyone before Krishna. Now one can have some idea of the Vishwarup after this incident. Those who are actually divine can see the universal form of the Lord, but one cannot be divine without being a pure devotee of Krishna. The devotees, however, who are actually in the divine nature and who have divine vision are also not very much interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. As described in the previous verse, Arjun desired to see the four-handed form of Lord Krishna as Vishnu, and he was actually afraid of the universal form. And then Prabhupada says there are many persons who create incarnations. They falsely claim all ordinary human to be an incarnation, but this is all foolishness. We should follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita, otherwise there is no possibility of attaining perfect spiritual knowledge. Although Bhagavad Gita is considered the preliminary study of the science of God, still it is so perfect that it enables one to distinguish what is what. The followers of a Sura incarnation may say that they have also seen the transcendental incarnation of God, the universal form, but that is unacceptable because it is clearly stated here that unless one becomes a devotee of Krishna, one cannot see the universal form of God. So one first of all has to become a pure devotee of Krishna. Then he can claim that he can show the universal form of what he has seen. A devotee of Krishna cannot accept false incarnations. So Prabhupada, we can see his mood and mission. He's warning us against falling prey to different kind of propaganda or different philosophies which have no scriptural basis. And then in 49, somebody read please. Yes, Daya.
Mataji, after Arjun, does anybody seen the this form? Pure devotee, like in past acharyas are there.
Nobody has ever mentioned of it because, see, Prabhupada is saying the pure devotees are not interested in seeing this form. They have read this description from Bhagavad Gita, that's enough for them. They,
Not universal form, the like personality of God and Narayan form.
Yes, yeah, the devotees who go to Vaikuntha see that form, the four-handed form of the Lord, who are interested in all reverence.
Does this seen in this material world?
See, it can only be seen if one is a pure devotee, one has a divine vision. One may be in this material world and yet be completely Jivan Mukta of, Anitya Siddha. If a Mahabhagavat, Uttam Adhikari devotee, if one is at that level, they can see Krishna, why not? Somebody used to ask one reporter once asked Prabhupada that, do you see Krishna? You always talk about that pure devotees can see Krishna all the time. Do you always see Krishna? So Prabhupada said, yes. He said, are you seeing him now? He said, yes. Get out of the way. You're blocking my vision. I am seeing Krishna, but you are in the way. So Prabhupada said that many times that I can see Krishna all the time. I can feel my spiritual master all the time. So a person when he is at that level, a Mahabhagavat or Uttam Adhikari can see Krishna. They are directed by Krishna all the time. They are guided by Krishna all the time. And they can also see Krishna. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
And Mataji, just to add, even Prabhupada able to see the demigods as well while
He saw
lecturing or
Narada.
giving Kirtan. Yes,
in Bhaktivedanta manner. And he asked everyone that, did you see who all were there? So they were like, who? And then he said, Narada, then one more. Was it Brahmaji? I think
Yes,
it was Brahma. It was Brahmaji and Narad. And after that, he instructed them that when you have a Bhagavatam class, you should actually place a seat for Brahmaji and Narad Muni so that when they come, they can sit. And to date, in Bhaktivedanta manner, they do that. They keep 2 seats, one for Brahmaji and one for Narad, just in case they decide to come, they can hear the class. So, yeah, thank you. 49.
माते व्यथा मार्गविमूढभावो
Go.
दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोर ममेदं व्यपेतभिप्रीतमना पुनस्त्वं तदेव मे रूपमिदं प्रपश्य. Translation: You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbance. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire.
So, to see, you had asked this question earlier, Prabhu. That was he speaking as in the universal form, or so Krishna himself has answered your question. That now let it be finished. Till now, whatever I'm saying is from the universal form, but now let it be finished. And then Prabhupada in the purport says that in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjun was worried about killing Bhishma and Drona, his worshipful grandfather and master. But Krishna said that he need not be afraid of killing his grandfather. When the sons of Dhritarashtra tried to disrobe Draupadi in the assembly of the Kurus, Bhishma and Drona were silent, and for such negligence of duty, they should be killed. Krishna showed his universal form to Arjun just to show him that these people were already killed for their unlawful action. That scene was shown to Arjun because devotees are always peaceful and they cannot perform such horrible actions. The purpose of the revelation of the universal form was shown. Now Arjun wanted to see the four-armed form, and Krishna showed him. A devotee is not much interested in the universal form, for it does not enable one to reciprocate loving feelings. Either a devotee wants to offer his respectful, worshipful feelings, or he wants to see the two-handed Krishna form so that he can reciprocate in loving service with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada is making it very clear that a devotee has no interest. A devotee is interested only in the personal form of the Lord. And that personal form is either as a Chaturbhuj form or a Dvibhuj form. And we will also come to know in the next purports Prabhupada's mood, like how Prabhupada was attracted, and he has given us seva for the two-handed form, and Mahaprabhu came to give us Braj Prem, where he is in two-handed form. So devotees, Gaudiya devotees don't get really attracted to the Narayan form of the Lord. He's worshipful for us. We worship him. We pay our obeisances, but that is not our destination. That is not we crave for. Okay, text 50.
Sanjaya Uvac
Read.
Ityarjunam Vasudevastatoktva Rupam Darshayamasa Bhuya Ashvacha Vitamenam Bhutva Puna Saumya Vapur Mahatma. Translation. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna.
So Prabhupada says in the purport that when Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he first of all appeared as a four-armed Narayan, but when he was requested by his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child in appearance. Similarly, Krishna knew that Arjun was not interested in seeing a four-handed form, but since Arjun asked to see his four-handed form, Krishna also showed him this form again and then showed himself in two-handed form. The word Saumya Vapu is very significant. Saumya Vapu is a very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was simply attracted by Krishna's form. And because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjun, his devotee, and showed him again his beautiful form of Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita 538, it is stated, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Only a person whose eyes are smeared with the ointment of love can see the beautiful form of Sri Krishna. Okay. 51. Yes, Prabhu.
So Mataji, when we talk about the two-handed form of Krishna, so again, I asked in the previous class, so is it the Dwarka form of Krishna or the Vrindavan form of Krishna?
For a Gaudiya devotee, it is Vrindavan form of Krishna, but somebody could be in Dwarka mood also. For them, it is Dwarka form. But primarily because we are, Mahaprabhu came to give us Braj Prem, so for us, he is the Vrindavan, Braj form, holding a flute. In Dwarka, he does not hold a flute. Okay? Yeah. Yes, Vaibhavi.
So Mataji, we should pray him as in the form of Dwarka Krishna, but we should connect with him in the form of Braj, or what?
No,
I'm
no,
confused.
no. If Dwarka form is there in front of us, we pay our obeisances, we pray to him. But in our normal life, we pray to the Shyam Sundar Krishna, Brajendra Nandar Krishna. And he is our goal, and he is our Ishtadev, he is our master, he is everything.
We should not focus on the Dwarka Krishna.
No, no. If we are followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but there's no harm in following Dwarka Krishna. If you have a natural affinity towards that form, then that form is the best for you. Right? Somebody read the translation.
When Arjun thus saw Krishna in his original form, "Oh, Janardhan, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, now I'm composed in mind and I'm restored to my original nature."
Yeah, so now Arjun is like heaving a sigh of relief. Oh, thank God, now you've come back to your original form. The form I have a relationship with, the form I can relate to. You know, all these different forms, although very beautiful, very powerful, but I had no relationship with those forms. So Prabhupada says, it is very clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita that one who thinks that Krishna is an ordinary person and who misguides the readers by claiming that it is the impersonal Brahman within Krishna speaking is doing the greatest injustice. Krishna has actually shown his universal form in his four-handed Vishnu form. So how can he be an ordinary human being? A pure devotee is not confused by misguiding commentaries on Bhagavad Gita because he knows what is what. The original verses of Bhagavad Gita are as clear as the sun. They do not require the lamplight from foolish commentators. What a line. The original verses of Bhagavad Gita are as clear as the sun. They do not require lamplight from foolish commentators. So Prabhupada is saying that it's like showing a lamp to the sun. You know, these foolish commentators, they are trying to show a lamp to the sun, whereas Bhagavad Gita's, what Krishna is trying to say is very, very clear. But by deliberate misinterpretation, what they are doing, they're actually, it's like showing lamp to a sun. Text 52.
The Supreme Personality of God had said, "My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form which is so dear."
Yeah, so he's saying that this form of mine is that you're now seeing, the two-handed form, is very difficult to behold. So Prabhupada explains that in the 48th verse of this chapter, Lord Krishna concluded revealing his universal form and informed Arjun that this form is not possible to be seen by so many pious activities, sacrifices, etc. Now here the word Sududarsham is used, indicating that Krishna's two-handed form is still more confidential. One may be able to see the universal form of Krishna by adding a little tinge of devotional service to various activities like penances, Vedic study, and philosophical speculation. It may be possible, but without a tinge of bhakti, one cannot see. That has already been explained. Still, beyond that universal form, the form of Krishna with two hands is still more difficult to see, even for the demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. They desire to see him, and we have evidence in the Srimad Bhagavatam that when he was supposed to be in the womb of his mother Devaki, all the demigods from heaven came to see the marvel of Krishna, and they offered nice prayers to the Lord. Although he was not at that time visible to them, they waited to see him. A foolish person may deride him, thinking him an ordinary person, and may offer respect not to him but to the impersonal something within him. But these are all nonsensical postures. Krishna in his two-armed form is actually desired to be seen by demigods like Brahma and Shiva. Yes, and Prabhupada quotes from Brahma Samhita, and in the end he says, we have several times discussed Krishna is covered by his Yoga Maya potency. He is not to be seen or revealed by to anyone and everyone. Only by one to whom he reveals himself can he be seen. It is only out of his mercy that he can be seen, no other way. This is confirmed in Vedic literature. For one who is a surrendered soul, the absolute truth can actually be understood. The transcendentalist, by continuous Krishna consciousness and by devotional service to Krishna, can have his spiritual eyes opened and can see Krishna by revelation. Krishna can be seen by spiritual eyes and by revelation. Such a revelation is not possible even for the demigods. Therefore, it is difficult even for the demigods to understand Krishna. And the advanced demigods are always in hope of seeing Krishna in his two-handed form. The conclusion is that although to see the universal form of Krishna is very, very difficult, not possible for anyone and everyone, it is still more difficult to understand his personal form as Shyama Sundar. Yeah? So we see in Brahma Vimohan Leela, that's what happens. When Brahmaji sees that Shyam Sundar form, he gets bewildered. He doesn't really think that he is the Supreme Lord. And that's what Prabhupada is saying, that it is not easy to understand that form, not easy to see that form. 53.
नाहं वेदैर् न तपसा न दानेन न चेज्जया साक्य एव विदो दृष्टवान् असि माम यथा. The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am.
So Krishna is making it very clear that this form of mind is even more confidential than the universal form of mind. So Prabhupada in the purport says, for scholars who have simply studied Vedic literature by way of grammatical knowledge or mere academic qualifications, Krishna is not possible to understand, nor is he to be understood by persons who officially go to the temple or to offer worship. They make their visit, but they cannot understand Krishna as he is. Krishna can be understood only through the path of devotional service, as explained by Krishna himself in the next verse. Now Krishna is explaining how he can be seen. 54.
भक्त्या तव अनन्यसाख्या अहम एवं विधो अर्जुन जनातुम दृष्टुम च तत्वेन प्रवेष्टुम च परन्तप. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way you can enter into the mysteries of my understanding.
So he's now concluding, and he's saying only through undivided devotional service, focused devotional service, not splayed out devotional service that we are, at the same time doing 10 things, thinking 10 things. No, undivided. And then Prabhupada in the purport says, no one can understand Krishna or how he came from parents in a four-handed form and at once changed himself into a two-handed form. These things are very difficult to understand by study of the Vedas or by philosophical speculation. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that no one can see him or enter into understanding of these matters. So I have a question. If you told people that Krishna first appeared as Chaturbhuj Roop and then he from the womb and then he took that Dvibhuj Roop, how many people do you think are going to believe you? People will laugh. They'll say, what you're talking is nonsense. But you tell this to a devotee, they don't even question. They're like, oh, yes, so wonderful. This is how it happened. So it's only by devotional service can we understand the mysteries of his pastimes. Otherwise, it is not possible. So Prabhupada is saying there are so many rules and regulations, and if one at all wants to understand Krishna, he must follow the regulative principles described in the authoritative literature. One can perform penance in accordance with those principles. For example, to undergo serious penances, one may observe fasting on Janmashtami. This is serious penance, okay? Fasting on Janmashtami, the day on which Krishna appeared, and on the 2 days of Ekadasi, the 11th day after the new moon and the 11th day after the full moon. As far as charity is concerned, it is plain that charity should be given to the devotees of Krishna who are engaged in his devotional service to spread the Krishna philosophy or Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Krishna consciousness is a benediction to humanity. And Prabhupada says, so if one gives some amount of his money to persons involved in distributing Krishna consciousness, that charity given to spread Krishna consciousness is the greatest charity in the world. And if one worships as prescribed in the temples in India, there are always some statue, usually of Vishnu or Krishna. That is a chance to progress by offering worship and respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the beginners in devotional service to the Lord, temple worship is essential. and this is confirmed in Vedic literature. And then he's quoting from Upanishad that one who has unflinching devotion for the Supreme Lord and is directed by the spiritual master, in whom he has similar unflinching faith, can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead by revelation. A person who has faith in Krishna and who has faith, unflinching devotion and faith in the spiritual master, can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One cannot understand Krishna by mental speculation. For one who does not take personal training under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, it is impossible to even begin to understand Krishna. The word "to" is specifically used here to indicate that no other process can be used, can be recommended, or can be successful in understanding Krishna. And Prabhupada says the personal forms of Krishna, the two-handed form and the four-handed, are completely different from the temporary universal form shown to Arjun. The four-handed form of Narayan and the two-handed form of Krishna are eternal and transcendental, whereas the universal form exhibited to Krishna to Arjun is temporary. The word Sudurdasham means difficult to see, suggests that no one had seen that universal form. It also suggests that among the devotees there was no necessity of showing it. That form was exhibited by Krishna at the request of Arjun, so that in the future, when one represents himself as an incarnation of God, people can ask him to see his universal form. The word "na," used repeatedly in the previous verse, indicates that one should not be very much proud of such credentials as an academic education in Vedic literature. One must take to the devotional service of Krishna, only then can one attempt to write commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. So only a devotee should be writing commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, not everybody just because they have academic knowledge. And then Prabhupada says Krishna changes from the universal form to the four-handed form of Narayan, then to his own natural form of two hands. This indicates that the four-handed forms and other forms mentioned in Vedic literature are all emanations of the original two-handed Krishna. He is the origin of all emanations. Krishna is distinct even from these forms, what to speak of impersonal conception. So Krishna is distinct from his universal form and even from his four-handed form. So let's not even talk about the impersonal conception. So Prabhupada says, as far as the four-handed forms of Krishna are concerned, it is clearly stated that even the most identical four-handed form of Krishna, which is known as Mahavishnu, who's lying on the cosmic ocean and from whose breathing so many innumerable universes are passing out and entering, is also an expansion of the Supreme Lord. Yeah, then he quotes from Brahma Samhita and Upanishads to substantiate these points. And at the end, then Prabhupada says in this purport, the original is the Krishna form. The universal form with its thousands and thousands of heads and hands is manifest just to draw attention of those who have no love for God. It is not God's original form. They have no love for God, but by seeing this universal form, they can appreciate his greatness and render some service. Then Prabhupada says the universal form is not attractive for pure devotees who are in love with the Lord in different transcendental relationships. The Supreme Godhead exchanges transcendental love in his original form of Krishna. Therefore, to Arjun, who was so intimately related with Krishna in friendship, this form of the universal manifestation was not pleasing, rather, it was fearful. Arjun, who was a constant companion of Krishna's, must have had transcendental eyes. He was not an ordinary man, therefore, he was not captivated by the universal form. This form may seem wonderful to persons who are involved in elevating themselves by fruitive activities, but to persons who are engaged in devotional service, the two-handed form of Krishna is the most dear. Now the last shloka of this chapter, and it has a big purport, so we'll try to read as much as possible. Yeah, somebody read, please.
मत्कर्म कृन् मत्परमो मद्भक्तः संगवर्जितः निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु यः सह मामेति पांडव. Translation: My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me.
So,
Purpose.
yeah, please read.
Anyone who wants to approach the supreme of all the personalities of Godhead on the Krishna Loka planet in his spiritual sky and be intimately connected with the Supreme Personality, Krishna must take this formula as stated by the Supreme himself. Therefore, this verse is considered to be the essence of Bhagavad Gita. No work should be done by any man except in relationship to Krishna. This is called Krishna karma. One may be engaged in various activities, but one should not be attached to the result of his work. The result should be done only for him. For example, one may be engaged in business, but to transform that activity into Krishna consciousness, one has to do business for Krishna. If Krishna is the proprietor of the business, then Krishna should enjoy the profit of the business. If a businessman is in possession of the thousands and thousands of dollars, and if he has to offer all this to Krishna, he can do it. This is work for Krishna. Instead of constructing a big building for his sense gratification, he can construct a nice temple for Krishna. And he can install the deity of Krishna and arrange for the deity's service, as he is outlined in the authorized books of devotional service. This is all Krishna karma. One should not be attached to the result of his work, but the result should be offered to Krishna, and one should accept as prasadam the remnants of offerings to Krishna. If one constructs a very big building for Krishna and install the deity of Krishna, one is not prohibited from living there, but it is understood that the proprietor of the building is Krishna. This is called Krishna consciousness. If, however, one is not able to construct a temple for Krishna, one can engage himself in cleansing the temple of Krishna. That is also called Krishna karma. One can cultivate a garden. Anyone who has land in India, at least any poor man has a certain amount of land, can utilize that for Krishna by growing flowers to offer him. One can sow tulsi plants because tulsi leaves are very important, and Krishna has recommended this in Bhagavad Gita. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Krishna desires that one offer him either a leaf or a flower or a fruit or a little water, and by such an offering he is satisfied. This leaf specially refers to the tulsi. So one can sow tulsi and pour water on the plant. Thus, if even the poorest man can engage in the service of Krishna, these are some of the examples of how one can engage in working for Krishna.
Thank you. So Prabhupada is giving, us a very practical recommendation on how to make everything as an offering to Krishna, how to, do everything in relation with Krishna. And then he says the word matpara, word matparama refer to one who considers the association of Krishna in his supreme abode to be the highest perfection of life. Such a person does not wish to be elevated to the higher planets such as moon or sun or heavenly planets, and even the highest planet of this universe, Brahmaloka. He has no attraction for that. He is only attracted to being transferred to the spiritual sky. And even in the spiritual sky, he is not satisfied with merging into the glowing Brahmajyoti effulgence, for he wants to enter the highest spiritual planet, namely Krishna Loka, Golok Vrindavan. As indicated by the word Mad Bhakta, he fully engages in devotional service, specifically in the 9 processes of devotional engagement: hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering prayers, carrying out the orders of the Lord, making friends with him, and surrendering everything to him. One can engage in all 9 devotional processes, or 8, or 7, or at least 1, and that will surely make one perfect. The term Sangvarjita is very significant. One should disassociate himself from persons who are against Krishna. Not only are the atheistic persons against Krishna, but so are those who are attracted to fruitive activities and mental speculation. And then Prabhupada quotes from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that shloka which defines pure devotional service, Anya Vilashita Shunya, Gyan Karmadhyanavritam Anukulen Krishnanushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. Then he says, in this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami clearly states that if anyone wants to execute unalloyed devotional service, he must be freed from all kind of material contamination. He must be freed from the association of persons who are addicted to fruitive activities and mental speculation. When freed from such unwanted association and from the contamination of material desires, one favorably cultivates knowledge of Krishna, and that is called pure devotional service. And then Prabhupada quotes from Hari Bhakti Vilas, and Sanatana Goswami gives this definition for Sharanagati, the 6 characteristics of Sharanagati. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. That what is anukul for Krishna bhakti should be adopted, and what is pratikul should be let go. So Prabhupada says, one should think of Krishna and act for Krishna favorably, not unfavorably. Kansa was an enemy of Krishna's, and from the very beginning of Krishna's birth, Kansa planned in so many ways to kill him. And because he was always unsuccessful, he was always thinking of Krishna. Thus, while working, while eating, while sleeping, he was always Krishna conscious in every respect. But that Krishna consciousness was not favorable. Therefore, in spite of his always thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day, he was considered a demon, and Krishna at last killed him. Of course, anyone who's killed by Krishna attains salvation immediately, but that is not the aim of the pure devotee. The pure devotee does not even want salvation. He does not want to be transferred even to the highest planet Golok Vrindavan. His only objective is to serve Krishna wherever he may be. A devotee of Krishna is friendly to everyone. Therefore, it is said that he has no enemies, nirvairaya. How is this? A devotee situated in Krishna consciousness knows that only devotional service to Krishna can relieve a person from all the problems of life. He has personal experience of this, and therefore he wants to introduce this system, Krishna conscious, into human society. Then Prabhupada gives example of Jesus Christ, Haridas Thakur, and Prahlad Maharaj. And then he says, a Krishna conscious person knows that if a person is suffering, it is due to his forgetfulness of his eternal relationship with Krishna. Therefore, the highest benefit one can render to human society is relieving one's neighbor from all material problems. In such a way, a pure devotee is engaged in the service of the Lord. Now we can imagine how merciful Krishna is to those engaged in his service, risking everything for him. And this is something that Krishna will say in the 18th chapter. You know, that such a devotee is very dear to me. Therefore, it is certain that such persons must reach the supreme planet after leaving the body. Then Prabhupada summarizes. In summary, the universal form of Krishna, which is a temporary manifestation, and the form of time, which devours everything, and even the form of Vishnu, four-handed, have all been exhibited by Krishna. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all these manifestations. It is not that Krishna is a manifestation of the original Vishwarupa or Vishnu. Krishna is the origin of all forms. There are hundreds and thousands of Vishnus, and for a devotee, no form of Krishna is important but the original form, two-handed Shyam Sundar. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that those who are attached to the Shyam Sundar form of Krishna in love and devotion can see him always within the heart and cannot see anyone else. One should understand, therefore, that the purport of this 11th chapter is that the form of Krishna is essential and supreme. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 11th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the universal form. Okay, so any questions from this chapter? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I have a question from the verse number 50, wherein it's been mentioned that the Saumya Vapu is very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. So is Saumya Vapu form Krishna carries to the Dwarka Leela as well, or is it confined to the Shyam Sundar Roop only?
Mainly Shyam Sundar Roop, and even in Dwarka Leela, he's supposedly very beautiful smile. But in Braj, his form is the most beautiful. That form is the most beautiful. But that is for Gauriyas, you know, for Vaikunt and Bhaktas who are like, you know, from Sri Sampradaya or all these people, for them his Narayan form is the most beautiful. So since Prabhupada is a Braj Bhakta, so, you know, he's commenting on it like that. Okay? Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. So tomorrow we will study the 12th chapter. And since there are only 20 shlokas, I think we'll finish our course tomorrow. You know, Krishna willing. So you have one extra day where you can do your OBAs, CBAs, whatever you need to do. Okay? Thank you very much. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Pranam to all devotees. Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Pranam to all.